欢迎大家再次回来。我相信大家如今已经能量满满吧。OK， 这边有小小的报告，就是大家可以扫描二维码以获取我们今天的活动手册。这个 OK， 呀，那边也是有，所以你们只是就是扫描那个二维码就可以获取今天的活动的资料。
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all feeling refreshed. Let's transition to our next agenda. And I'm pleased to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Putra Sumari from University Science Malaysia. He will be sharing insights on quantum neural network for artificial intelligence, concept, applications, and challenges.
让我们进入下一个议程，请容许我介绍我们的第一个主题演讲者。他是来自马来西亚理科大学的伯特拉·苏玛丽教授博士，他将分享的主题为 Quantum Neural Network for Artificial Intelligence, Concept, Application and Challenges。有请。
Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. I'm a bit nervous actually because all the professors from China, big player in the world. So, honorable professors, lecturers, and students. Okay, a very good morning to all of you. Okay. Okay, the talk today is on quantum neural network on computer vision. Okay, so the reason simply because of the statement from the Google. The Google say that quantum computer are 158 million times faster than the most sophisticated supercomputer that we have in the world today. Four minutes as compared to what the traditional supercomputer can accomplish for 10,000 years. And this statement basically stunned, 158 million times faster and 10,000 years. Yeah. That seems very fast and don't make sense, but this is Google, and Google. Is the company who building the quantum computer. You can see there from Google, D-Wave, IBM, Microsoft. They are really competing each other. On the left side, some of the companies that invested millions of dollars. Okay, so yeah, and okay, let's look what they say is very faster and what exactly that quantum computer can do. Basically, what are they specific to do in quantum computer? The easiest example is factorization, and this factorization means just you got the number there and factorize into prime, and if you get this number, and this is very easily, and if you got more numbers, basically. And it takes time. This takes time, very long time to get the prime number of this one. And I think nowadays they got solved this using a supercomputer, classical one. But since the number can be long and it will difficult to get the prime number of this number. So it is an NP complete. It is not a polynomial process. It is a non-deterministic. Okay, and the easiest example for the quantum computer basically is the finding paths. And this is the Japan maps, and you are start from there, go to the other north of the Japan, and you got so many routes to be go to, and for full search for finding the longest or the shortest path is very time consuming, and that's what the quantum computer is needed, and it fast, what they claim. Other than this is chemical reaction. This is what quantum computer can do. Chemical reaction basically when you add up a new chemical, a portion of chemical, the reaction of the molecule is very fast, just less than millisecond. So what quantum computer can do is basically they can slow down the movement of the molecule by simulation. So when they slow down the molecule, they can see the movement, they can analyze the pattern and so on. So that's on chemical reaction. Also drug development. I think drug is also one of the chemical. Then you can put a new drug for the new medicine, pharmacies, and we want to see the reaction of the molecule and so on. So drug development also capable of using the quantum computer. And at the moment, the classical computer not exactly can do as much for the purpose of this development. Material for aerospace. These are basically material are the part that build the aeroplane. And the part is supposed to be light, very, very strong, thin, and they got a layers to design the aeroplane. They have put some material layers in there. So they got so many variables in terms of to simulate how strong is the aeroplane. So they can have quantum computer to simulate all these kind of things. And I think this new chemical are similar with chemical reaction basically. It's about to look at how molecules reacted to each other before they release to the public. And catalyze for fertilizer production. So fertilizer basically is to make something grow good, healthy, you know, and catalyze something that chemical that can make the chemical become more faster reaction, probably to get a low temperature, high pressure. So this kind of thing need a simulation for the fertilizer, and this need quantum computer. And ML, machine learning and AI. So this we are dealing with million of images. You know, one of the data set ImageNet is content of million images around the world. They collect it all together, and processing them is good if we have a quantum computer is suitable for this. And if we got this, then NP become no problem then. Just to believe that. We got NP, then with quantum computer NP will be no problem. Okay, that's the wisdom, okay? And what we are talking about is to combine with classical and quantum computer. So the combination of both. And still quantum computer is still quite new in the early stage, and classical is quite matured. So we couldn't get the service from quantum computer now. It's very rarely sold of quantum computer in the market. So the best thing is we combine classical and quantum. And classical, we got a lot of data in artificial intelligence. So the data in MS, so we can use the quantum computer and some sort of hybrid to make the process. And what we are talking about is CQ. CQ here means classical and Q is mean quantum. So C, classical data, goes to the quantum computer. And the left side is CC. CC is classical data that we have now with the classical computer that we have now. And QC is simply similar to CQ, where you got the quantum data, then you process it in the classical computer. The QQ is not there yet because it's a quantum data, so we don't have a quantum data at the moment. And quantum computer is in the stage of development, so this is quite progress in the future. So when we're talking about hybrids, so we know this is a classical as computer that you have now there here, okay, and it made up of a CPU there, and down there is a motherboard, and they are working on bit. And quantum computer basically is working on circuit like that, and that is an example of a quantum computer that built from Google in 2019. And you can see the red color there, like a tank, this to cover up the qubit under the degree of negative 270 degrees Celsius to keep it cold. Because there is a quantum, they are very fragile. So they need to keep in cold so that they're stable. All right? So that's the difference between classical and quantum computer. So what basically quantum are faster than classical that very million of times. So basically there is a term that bit and qubit. Okay, bit is basically is on and off, 1 and 0. So we go to the fundamental thing, 1 and 0, where you got, if you got 2 bits, you got the possibility of state, 4 state, either 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. And you can only pick one state, either 0, 0 or 0, 1, and so on. You only can pick one state. That's what we have now. And there, the implementation is using transistor. You got a billion of transistor on the circuit. Now let's look on the qubit. So qubit basically based on the quantum that here you see that there are 2 spheres there, and you got arrow. So the arrow can be superposition, moving all along 360 degrees around the sphere. So the possibility of superposition, basically, if you look at 2 qubit, basically you can have a very large state where you got degree there. If A is 50% of 0, 1, 0, 1 is 50%, you can have 1, 0 is 20%, and you got 1, 1 is 80%. And they can come at the same time. If you look at the above, 0, 0, the bit, 1 state at a time, but here you can have 4 states at a time. So that's make the faster. If you look at here, the 2 bit, only 1 state 0, 0. When you have 2 qubit, the 4 states are come out at the same time. So it's exponential, okay? So the thing exponential. This is 2 qubit. If you got 400 qubit, how many states you got? To the power of 400. That's a lot. All right? So we can see no wonder quantum computer is very fast as the Google claim. Now the implementation of qubit, basically they are using a superconducting qubit. Superconducting qubit is what the Google use. And there is some other from Australia that use a trap ion qubit, and from China as well. They use a trap ion. Trap ion basically is they're working on molecule thing. Okay? And yes, they are available actually. You can use it. And basically you can use as Google, they're called SIRQ, S-I-R-Q. So those who are you are working in AI, you know the SIRQ is one of the open source that you can subscribe to use their quantum computer. Okay? So you got data here, you just subscribe, internet connection is very good. They're going to process it your data and it's quite a bit fast. Okay? And there is the website if you want to go and try the quantum bit. But if you try it, it's just simply like others because it's a bit fast. Okay? And then we move to the neural network. What are the role of neural network basically? Neural network is actually a prediction model. Prediction means you predict anything. we're predicting the object, we're predicting people, we're predicting there is an object in the picture, and then you name it the object. Then here I got predict there is a people. Then I got to name it. Oh, that's Prof. Lily, the second stage. So neural network is a prediction model basically. And you got the input. This is the neural network basically. You got layers, nodes, and label. And these are basically copied from the anatomy of brain, where you got a billion of neuron. They are in layers. And when you see something through your eyes, the image will go to the neuron in your brain. They're going to process in some certain way, so they can give you meaning. And the brain also can give you not just a meaning, you can understand, you have feeling, you have consciousness, memory, okay? So that's the brain. And similarly, the analogy is similar to the neural network, where here you got input to the layers, nodes, and you got weights over there, and you got bias. So these terms are basically neural network. If you're dealing with neural network, this term basically you have to understand and to swallow it. And this neural network be able to learn the pattern of data. Looking at the image, they can learn the pattern of the image. That's the strength of neural network. See the data, they can learn the pattern of the data. What is the data is all about, where the data is going to, what are telling us. So that's the neural network. And through the adjustment of value and weight and bias. Basically, when you got label there, if you are in AI, you got label there. So that's formula basically just adjusting the weight and the bias toward the label. And also the propagation and cost function. They're going to repeat from the beginning, repeat until certain point they learn enough. And this also no deep learning. If you're adding more nodes and more layer, they're going to be a long list. That's going to be deep learning, okay? And 1980, basically, there is a convolutional neural network invented based on the neural network. And there's a quite complicated network where you can see there, the post portion is the convolutional, where they learn very deep. You got pooling process and so on. Pooling simply basically just to reduce the size into half. And at the end, you got the neural network. So on the top is a neural network. At the back side is a convolutional. So they call it convolutional neural network, just simply like that. And from there, in 2014, they got a transfer learning. Transfer learning means that if you got a model, learn on something, you just use the model for other things. You don't have to train the model again. This model has learned something on some certain data, then you just take the model, use it. Give the input and they're gonna give you the output. So you don't have to train the model from the beginning. So from there, they have some various kind of transfer learning model as you see there. UEG16, 16 men invented on, basically on the year of 2016, basically, okay? And you all transfer learning. And if you see there is very deep. The learning is very deep to the image. And these are the impact of computer vision so far. From basically it exploded on 2014 and 2015. Before that, since computer now are very good in 2014, 15, so the computer vision is explode. So various of application come out there. And this basically that student in AI, undergraduate for final year project or postgrad, they should know at least this is hello world things. They should know this, they should be able to apply, implement, running it to their final year project or whatever project. Okay? And this also, if you look at there are all are images. So computer vision is about what you see. So there are some of the images working. And basically, if you look at this, these are just to say that you can transfer your style to the picture on your right. You got a Mona Lisa from the left. You want to transfer the talent of drawing into the picture to the right. So these are also some of the project that final year project and postgrad should at least know how to install and how to make it working. So it can be used to your project, final year project or postgrad project for the thing. And this is a very basic software that you at least you need to know. All right, the basic for AI people should know at least on this kind of thing. You will see the picture will begin to transfer slowly to the picture on the left. And so these are the things that I'm using Python basically from the Google, all are free, using the Google Collaborator, subscribe their things. And these are not running on quantum computer because the classical can do it better. So you see that the transfer is going on. Roughly and so on until at the end of the day, okay? At the end of the process. So that's what called knowledge transfer. You transfer the talent of there, you put it into your picture, okay? And this also the impact. There are so many impact on computer vision, the neural network basically. And down there, I think in the middle is very important as long with ChatGPT because if you give a picture, he'll be able to describe the picture. The picture tell you 1,000 stories. So the neural network be able to give you 1,000 of story about the picture. And for the Barack Obama is a fake video basically. This is also one of the thing that final year project and postgrad should know at least. Okay, and this is basically just to imitate the actor there to my face, okay? It's supposed to be voice, it's okay. And face recognition, basically, this is also one of the things that final project should know, okay? All right, so you got, this is basically the classical, okay? And you got the process, I think the similar process. And when you go to quantum, so the circle is the thing that you need to change from classical to quantum. The red circle is, that's the thing that you need to change to adopt the quantum computer. Whereas there's called a convert classical data set into quantum data. So we got a classical data, we have to convert into quantum. Then, now the neural network is transformed into circuit, quantum neural network model. They're using a circuit. And you go to extract the model, convert back to classical data, and then you can use the ordinary training, and that is the step. And this is some tutorial. You got a hand digit writing there. I think this is famous MNIST dataset. And the original got 60,000 images, training, and then you got 10 label. For these purposes, you downscale the image into 2 by 2, simply because to adapt to the 2 qubit. And we're going to reduce the number of images, 10,000 and 2,000, and we only use set for 2 label. And we are using the circ from the Google. And the first one, when you encode, you have to use a certain gate for the quantum. And these are basically to convert the data to quantum state. So you got RX, there's to make a superposition of the data into quantum state, okay? And there's the code, and then you have to apply the model. So this is the model for the quantum neural network model. And you also use the same gate there, okay? And this is the code, and let's say 10 epoch, okay? And some of the parameter, and you have Actually a good result. The blue one is basically is a classical, and the orange one is a quantum model. So you can see a little bit faster process there using the quantum. All right. And this is the accuracy. And do we need a quantum computer in our daily life? What do you think? Yes, in our daily life. So the answer is no, basically. We don't need for our daily life. Daily life means we go to Foodpanda, Lazada, online. That's our daily life. And we don't need that because our classical computer can do it fast. Making a payment, online payment. They are very fast now, isn't it? You press today, in 5 minutes, the food coming. And the payment is just only a few seconds. The slow because of the internet. So in our daily life, we don't need basically. All right. But however, there is the term that called quantum advantage. Quantum is good and got advantage. Probably one day they're going to replace all. And if you use quantum, no big deal. It's a good thing for you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Putra Sumari. We'll have a 5-minute session for any questions. If anyone have questions, please feel free to ask.
谢谢伯特拉·苏玛丽教授博士的精彩演讲。我们将会有5分钟的提问时间，如有任何疑问，欢迎大家踊跃的参与提问。
Okay, so it's ready to sing for that because I didn't know this is in Malaysia, right? Do you have any company?
So far as I know, not yet. Not yet. But I don't know whether they're still working on it, but don't make it public. Yeah, but I think the company like dealing with space, chemical thing, I think they already invested on that properly. Especially that got headquarters in Europe and United States and China. So the company here probably invested already in quiet thing. They don't. Okay.
It was amazing when we had that. We showed Mona Lisa there, and then how it can be transferred to. It's okay, my voice.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. Well, things that you got Mona Lisa, there's a very expensive, you know. Yeah, if you want for the art designer, they want to draw just like Mona Lisa, you know, then probably they can use it quite fast. Not even they draw it first, then they take picture. If they draw it, so there's so many variables that they try to keep and drawing again, then not happening, they drawing again from the scratch. From that one, basically you can just transfer. Yeah, not much benefit, but just to show that the technology of how the thing is transferred to from one place to another place. For the benefit, probably we can think something about that. Yeah, probably the one that I said just now. Yeah. Yeah, GPS. When you finding the shortest route, the best thing probably you can say you got here from here how many miles? Then from here to another how many miles? How many miles? How many miles? So you add up all the miles, you got the distance of your journey. But you only take just a few things. If you want this road, then you have to explore, then explore, then explore. That's like, so basically, just to show you that quantum computing can do full search. What we have now, 50%, just breadth first, and not a fully search, but quantum computer can do a fully search. I think the point there is just to show that quantum computer can do a fully 100% search on finding the path, that every route is analyzed. Every possible route is analyzed, not leaving even 1 or 10% or 1%. So you can have better accurate result. Okay.
Anyone else? Question?
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Putra. I have two questions. Number one is, what is actually the technology behind this quantum computer as compared to classical? I still don't really catch. And the second question is, what is the cost ratio as compared to the classical computer? For example, we improve the technology 10,000 years, yes, but the cost that to develop this technology, how many times you need as compared to classical computer? Do you have any idea?
The first one is about how they do it. Yeah, to be honest, Prof, this is a physics school and electrical engineering parts that they have to build. And I've said just now, the main qubit is superconducting qubit. Basically, I have no idea what it's all about. And trap ion, just to store the qubit. Bits, we're using the transistor that we have now. But qubit, they're using a trap ion. I have no idea, basically, Prof, what is the trap ion, how, I think they keep molecule and then the superposition somewhere happening, and then they store it somewhere. And the others, the technology that building it, I think we have to look, more detail in terms of engineering and physics. That's only I can say. Or for the second one is about the cost. I think if you got one product, a bulky, this big from China, they have a quantum computer, only a few bits. I think that's cost about 10K. You can buy it now. I can't remember what's company there from China. They sold it already. They got like this big box. Probably they have to put a vacuum inside there to keep cold the qubit. But you know, in 1943, Watson, if I can remember, the head of the IBM, they said, if we can sell only 5 computers, fine, in the world. But now everybody has a home computer. I think it applies similar to this one, you know. Nowadays, people don't care. You're public, then probably in 20 years, everywhere is quantum computer. I hope the things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Putra Sumari. Moving on, we are delighted to invite Associate Professor Dr. Chiu Shan-Hu from Southeast University, China, to present on digital technology for physical activity promotion in type 2 diabetes.
接下来，我们很高兴邀请来自中国东南大学的邱山虎教授，他的发表题为 Digital Technology for Physical Activity Promotion in Type 2 Diabetes。有请。
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone, and every professor. So I'm from China and from Southeast University. So today I want to make presentation about for the digital technology use and for physical activity promotion in patients with type 2 diabetes. So probably this is not so familiar for you because I'm from the schools and for the medicine science, and but we use some digital technology for physical activity promotion and then for the health promotion. So I will start from 3 following parts, and the first one is for the benefits of physical activity on type 2 diabetes. So everybody knows that we will take physical activities every day, and physical activity refers to our movements and produced by skeletal muscle contraction, and which produces energy expenditure, so which is above the resting level. So we normally classify our physical activity into 4 categories. The first one is sedentary. The second one is night physical activity. So and we have moderate and then vigorous. So we have some values how to classify which physical activity refers to which category. So we have the metabolic equivalence. So we have 1.5 and 3 and 6 and then over 6. And then for our daily physical activity, and we will normally say for the domain-specific physical activities. So here we will see we have the leisure time physical activity, just like when we do some sports, some working or training. And then we have some transportation physical activity, just like to work to the hospital or to your company or to the universities, and or to take some cycling. We also have some occupational physical activity, that is to the activity conducted during work at work. So, and we have some household physical activity, just like gardening. So here, and we normally refers for the sports training to leisure time physical activity, that is to take activities during your leisure time. So this is some evidence on why physical activity is important for patients with diabetes. So just look at here. This is for a meta-analysis and to show us that physical activity can lower the risk of diabetes. And so just probably this is not so familiar for you. And you will see that if we take adequate amount of vigorous activity, the risk of diabetes will be lowered by 39%. And then if we take regular walking, and the risk of diabetes will be lowered by 15% compared to those without regular walking. And then we will see just for the diabetic complications. So we will see that why diabetes is very important, because it threatens our health by their complications. So when we take adequate physical activity, you will find that the risk of cardiovascular mortality will be lowered by 1%. So here, this is for some randomized control trials, and this is a very negative result. So why we here in this study, and why physical activity did not produce any benefits compared with usual care. So problem is that what is usual care? So usual care probably sometimes contains some suggestions on how to exercise, how to take a regular food. So here, this is a very very impressive. Why this is a negative result. Higher when we look at this is from observational studies, we found that take adequate amount of physical activity, the cardiovascular mortality will be lowered by 29%. Similarly, and for all-cause mortality, the risk will be reduced by 40%. So here, this is a hazard ratio. And then just look at, this is for the diabetic nephropathy. So on kidney, so there are some diseases on kidney from diabetes. And you will find that if we take regular activity, and so we will get a good result. That is for the EGFR. This is a marker reflect our kidney function, and also for the UACR, another marker to reflect renal function. So all the data are positive, are favorable. And then just look at here, and we have computer science, and we have some wearable devices. So we have an objective to measure the physical activity, just to quantify how we work. For example, how many steps we work today, and what is amount of light physical activity. So we will use the accelerometer or pedometer. So this is probably referred to some computer science. So here, and we also found that, so for every 1 minute per day increment in moderate to vigorous physical activity, the risk of severe diabetic retinopathy, so this is another disease on our eyes, so it will be reduced by 14%. So we also find that, collectively, we also find that so physical activity also improves our cardiometabolic health, as indicated by lipid profiles, blood pressure, or our body composition. So in general, and so a small summary for this section is that physical activity refers to all movements, including exercise. And physical activity lowers risk of diabetes, and also physical activity lowers risk of mortality, as well as its related diabetic complications. So, and however, we met some challenges for physical activity promotion. That is, most patients with diabetes were physically inactive. So just look at the this is global data, and you will find that so more than 25% of the world's adult population remain physically inactive. And then, so for women and men, you will find that more women than men did not take adequate amount of physical activity. And also importantly, so levels of inactivity are twice higher, in high-income countries than low-income countries. So for diabetes, just look at, and so here, and for no matter for the American Diabetes Association or for our Chinese physical activity guideline, and we also recommend to take like patients with diabetes to take adequate amount of physical activity to obtain some cardiovascular benefits. However, you'll find that, so despite of any efforts, so the adherence to physical activity did not improve. Importantly, we found that for the sedentary behavior, the sedentary time was increased over time. So this means, and so this is a very sophisticated problem for physical activity promotion. And just look at the evidence data for patients with diabetes. You will be noticed that more than 60% of the patients with diabetes remain physically active. And also, just look at this from two different cross-sectional studies, and probably there are some differences for the data. But in general, it just indicates us patients with diabetes are physically inactive. And this is evidence from China, and you'll find that we only had 35% of the patients with diabetes met the exercise guideline. So most of them did not take regular activity. And importantly, this is for some for the newly diagnosed patients with diabetes. More than one half of them did not take adequate amount of physical activity. So this section just gives us the information that more than 50% of the diabetes were physically inactive. And although we had some actions on how to promote physical activity, the prevalence of physical inactivity was not changed. However, the sedentary behavior became worse. So, and the question remains on how to promote physical activity. And this is a very important question, and probably this is related to our symposium today on how to, for the digital technology and how to use this for physical activity promotion. So we have many approaches to physical activity, and just look at here, and this is probably a little bit sophisticated for us to understand. And we have many interventional strategies, and we have some programs, and also we have some outcomes to evaluate their benefits, and also we have some health and the social and for the cost and effectiveness analysis. So this is just some physiological approaches, just for us to give us some support on, for example, feedback on physical behavior, and to educate patients why it is important. So they were probably are very happy to take exercise. And also we will give some biofeedback and also social support, just to ask their patients or the communities to promote physical activity. And also we were to share them with their past success. So if they take adequate amount of physical activity, just tell him or her that, okay, you see, just you get a very, very good body shape, and you get a very good blood pressure control. So this is another strategy we call peer support, and it's just like we have a person, a volunteer, and who is very happy to take this role and to take team and to show how to exercise regularly in their communities. So we have very sophisticated design for this, but this is not an important section for our talk today. So here, this is important. So we have some wearable devices. So what is the wearable devices? And we have the continuous glucose monitoring system and also some activity monitors. So we will find that they are used to change our physical behavior. So this is just some CGMS we call continuous glucose monitoring system. It can automatically measure our blood glucose level every 5 minutes. So here, and we will just teach our patients to see and just look at here. And if you take exercise, your blood sugar will be lowered compared with without exercise. And then in the following day, you'll also be noticed that their glucose level will also be lowered further. So based on this message, and the patients will be happy with their exercise. So they will be very happy to change their physical behavior. So this is the RCT randomized control trial, and to show how this CGMS promotes physical activity. You'll find that the use of CGMS can increase moderate to vigorous physical activity and to improve their adherence to physical activity. So we have some step counters, just like to monitor the daily walking steps, and you will find that step counters can also increase physical activity tremendously. And so from our data, and you'll find if we take step counters, your daily step will be increased by 1,800 steps per day, equals to probably 1 to 2 kilometers per day. And also this is for digital medicine benefits physical activity, and we use some mobile technology to improve physical activity among people with diabetes. So here for our medical career, this field, and there are so many we called to corporations from the computer science, and they use some mobile technology and just to ask the patients to install an app and to input some knowledge, some data there, and and also this app can monitor their daily step walking steps. So for this, and eventually they can improve their glycemic control. And also here, this is called e-support. And so this is also a dedicated coach and on how to support physical activity and a healthy diet. So here you'll find that e-support is acceptable and favorable for their health outcomes improvements. And it can also get a very good outcome that patients with diabetes can adhere to a more healthier diet. So here, and this is a protocol, and also this study has not been eventually conducted, but you can see that we have many experts to see that if we use some mobile health intervention, and they will get, so this here, they will keep sedentary behavior, and then we use this to remind them to work, and then they may probably sit again, and then to work. So we call this is how to break up sedentary behavior, and so this will eventually produce some benefits. For example, to reduce the feeling of fatigue. To improve the muscle mass, to improve their glucose glycemic control. And this is very commonly to use for this mHealth intervention for clinical use. So in our group, and we use this technology to promote the physical activity for our patients. And also we use this mobile health intervention to coach our doctors how to manage their patients with diabetes. And also we use this mHealth intervention and to see their outcomes on some biochemical data. For example, the hemoglobin A1C for a marker for glycemic control, and also for their lipid profiles, and also we'll have some other studies on this field. So this is this is sophisticated for their for the mechanism study. For the mHealth intervention, but we just take this app or take this mHealth platform, and then we use this to see how it can affect the outcomes of our patients. And so here, and also we found a very interesting information, that is patients with for those who like to exercise, even they like exercise, we found that their adherence was very poor. So here, this is a data from some randomized control trials. You will be noticed that most of the patients with diabetes, just look at here. So only a median data of 58%. This show only one half of them could adhere to their training protocol. So this is a very critical question. Critical issue. In physical activities, in physical behavior studies, because they cannot listen to your doctors, and they did not take just to take the medication. They did not regularly take medication. So what the outcome will be? So their intervention, the outcome of the intervention will be destroyed. So for this adherence and what we can do, and we can also use mobile technology-based interventions. We can use some mobile app-based promotion strategy, and to use this technology, and just look at here. This is some data for some from a paper, and just published in 2019. And they're the control group, and this is a regular group, and this is a plus group. So the regular group will probably just use just look at here, accelerometer variance. However, for the plus group, they will use a mobile phone application. So using this mobile phone application, you will be found that, so here, it produces the best outcomes, the best outcomes compared with the other groups. So their physical activity could be significantly improved. And here, there's in our daily life, just like gardening or our daily walking, probably the intensity is very low. However, there is a critical question, that is how to measure, how to quantify this physical activity. So we use accelerometer. So and our group had just we did not study on how to measure physical activity using accelerometers. We just measure to access the amount of night intensity physical activity measured by some devices. What is their relationship with the health outcomes? So we found that objective measured light intensity physical activity is closely related to reduce the risks of all-cause mortality and cardiovascular mortality. So here, this is just some clinical evidence, but the important thing is that if we did not have some devices, we cannot get such data. And so in our department, we also do some physical activity promotion, and we have some endocrinologists, and we have some rehabilitationists, and also some sports experts. Importantly, we have some mobile applications. We use this mobile application for our patients and for our doctors. So we have some exchange on this platform, and also we were to instruct our patients to come here regularly and to have a follow-up. So so we also have some alliance in China, and how to practice our physical activity promotion. And so this is from Professor Sun, and we have more than over 120 hospitals as members of this alliance on how to promote physical activity. So in summary, and so we found that peer support based strategy is an effective approach to promote physical activity. And also we can take advantage of some digital technology, especially wearable devices, to promote physical activity. So adherence to exercise intervention is very poor. However, we can use some mobile application, some digital technology to improve their adherence. And finally, and to increasing light intensity physical activity, they're also beneficial for our health. So that's all. So thank you very much.
谢谢邱尚虎博士的分享。同样我们将会有5分钟的提问时间，请提出你的问题和见解。
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Xu Shanhu. Similarly, we'll have a 5-minute session for any questions. Please feel free to share your questions and insights.
Can I ask, for type 2 diabetes,
Yes.
is there a genetic predisposition?
Yeah, actually for type 2 diabetes, and we have some genetic problems. And for example, if your parents had diabetes, and then your children have a higher risk for this disease.
So a lot of these interventions can be done before they.
Yeah,
right.
This is a very interesting study topic. Yeah.
So then my other part of the question is, there are 2 parts to this kind of study.
Mm-hmm.
The first part is the predisposition and starting young. So with all these wearable devices and all that, it makes sense. But then usually type 2 is diagnosed much later in life.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
with that group of more senior um, people with type 2 diabetes, how do you ensure that, because it looks like the wearable devices is the easiest way for them to be motivated because they can actually see it, right? So what do you do if there's a community of adult type 2 diabetes? How do you get everyone to wear a device, or what's the motivation to make them do it? The reason why I ask this is Malaysia, if you're not aware, has one of the highest diabetes percentage in the world,
Yeah, I
right?
see. Yeah.
And it's all correlated to lifestyle, to the foods and everything else. But I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your very interesting question. And for lifestyle intervention, it is always very difficult for everybody to comply to this healthy lifestyle. And just as you indicated that, I mean, how to motivate our patients with diabetes to wear wearable devices, this is very difficult. And we did some clinical studies and to recruit some patients who are willing to take wearable devices. So actually, we cannot to give commands to everybody, okay, to take wearable devices. And however, we are now doing some actions from our country and also from our some government, and also we use to invite some for the communities to communicate with them and to give them some awards. For example, to give them a small gift. So if they can walk 10,000 steps per day. So this we just to promote, and we cannot make sure that everybody will adhere to our suggestions. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, another question.
It's a good project. I just want to know the solution you made, like a wearable device and the other promotion. Did you get this solution from the survey, or did you get this solution from your own judgment?
Okay, so we have from some research studies, and also we have some from the clinical practice, and we found they are very useful, and when we give this to our patients. Yeah.
Okay. I just think that if you want to, if you want a solution for the activity for the people,
Yeah.
probably one way is just asking the people what they actually happy to do it. You know.
Yeah.
At least we consider them. That's okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a behavior. This is refer to our behavior, and for the behavior, just like for the neural network, and it's very sophisticated for a patient, for an individual, and we cannot predict how they will behave at the following step. So it's very difficult, and so we are trying to use some neural artificial intelligence to predict their physical activity, or especially for their behavior. However, this is very complicated, and we cannot do this. And so for our studies, like for the physical activity promotion or to their physical activity behavior change, and we just for our doctors and also to get some staffs and to work on this field. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I have a question as well. I'm here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm Indian. I'm a Malaysian Indian. And one of the highest on diabetic is actually a Malaysian Indians, among the Indians in Malaysia. And the thing is, it's genetic because my grandparents had it and my parents. So as we were growing, since we know my parents had, all my siblings, we are so aware. So all of us wear something to make sure that we have our 10,000 steps or something. So just for prevention purpose. So I guess education is very important. People need to know this is what's happening and take precautions much earlier. So among my siblings, I'm the youngest, and we are non-diabetic, but we are on the pre. So my HbA1c level is always about 5.4, 5.5. The moment I go 5.6, I check every 3 months. I start going crazy exercise. My normal exercise is normal, 30 minutes. But then when I go crazy about 1 hour or something like that, just to make sure that I bring down my HbA1c level, you know. So I think these are good, but education starts from early, from young. We were blessed that our parents educated us. So we try to do that. So prevention is better than cure, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, China, we now have some actions to promote physical activity and for our children. And so because I mean, at that time, and although their parents had diabetes, but it does not necessarily mean that they were developed diabetes. I mean, during I mean, when they grow into adulthood. Yeah. So I mean, early prevention is very important. However, I mean, I just as I indicated that for behavior change, that is very difficult. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jaya. One last question from over there.
First, thanks for the fascinating presentation, Professor
Yeah.
Chiu. And just one simple question. At the very beginning, you mentioned the questionnaire method have been used. And I just want to use what are the selection criteria for those samples? Because there are many participants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, in our clinical epidemiological studies, and we call this is from a cross-sectional survey, and so we did not have very strict criteria to recruit such patients. For example, everybody here can measure their physical activity amount, and then we have some guideline. For example, the guideline is here, and so we need. I mean, the guideline is the access guideline is 150 minutes or more of moderate to vigorous physical activity. So and then if we have a survey here and everybody can attend. However, sometimes we need to make some exceptions. For example, we need to exclude some participants who are who are ill. I mean, at this time, or some patient with cancer. And so I mean, this is just based on what is the question you want to solve. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so thank you.
好，谢谢大家的提问。
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Xiu Sanhu. Next on our agenda, we're honored to have Dr. Chi Han from Minjiang University to present on digital presentation of cultural heritage using virtual reality, a case study of 3 lanes and 7 alleys in Fuzhou. Let's welcome Dr. Chi Han to share insights into this fascinating topic.
接下来，我们很荣幸邀请来自命江学院的池涵博士分享讲题为 "Digital Presentation of Cultural Heritage Using Virtual Reality: A Case Study of 3 Lands and 7 Alleys in Fuzhou." 让我们欢迎池涵博士的分享。
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my first time to attend a conference and deliver a speech in Penang. So frankly, I'm a little nervous right now. Could you give me another round of applause? Okay, okay. Thank you for your encouragement. And you see, I have what I concern, what I care, and I think we all live in a world full of problems and matters. But according to my life experience, I don't think it's discouraging. Thank you. And I want to talk about the matter of my living city, Fuzhou. And as the old saying goes, the best solution of a problem is to talk about it. So I don't think it's a problem, but I think it's a very serious matter in my cities. So my topic is digital presentation of cultural heritage using VR and AR technology, a case study of 3 lamps and 7 alleys in Fuzhou. And I want to talk about this topic from 3 aspects. This study's background and simple introduction about VR and AR technology. And I will introduce the 3 main respective case about its application. And finally, the results and discussion. And as we all know, that the cultural heritage is the treasure left by history for all mankind. And historical and cultural districts are the classical material representative of cultural heritage. They record the social evolution and historical change, reflect unique characteristics of a community, and are the witness and material carrier of urban development. Personally, I visit the city of Malacca, and just in this morning, I see the very interesting event happen just nearby our district, farm work, right? I think it's a very interesting, fresh and brand new experience to me because I have long admired for the city work in Georgetown. So I do love this city. And yesterday I wandered around the Georgetown just in a small scope. And I hope to have another opportunity to take the full charm of the city. And I think Malaysia have won a very great reputation of its revitalization and restoration of historical and cultural heritage. And coincidentally, Chinese central government initiate the planned Internet Plus Chinese civilization and proposing to showcase a series digital products of culture relaxed through intelligent terminal platform or on-site display platform. And especially the government calls for many leading technology as VR and AR technologies, bringing culture relax to normal life. Simply saying, just make them alive. The picture shows Lijiang, a very small town in Yunnan province. They invite some leading high-tech enterprises to create a virtual town. So everybody, even across the world, can visit the town and buy some shops and stores, even in the pandemic period. So this project let the local government make a lot of money. So I think right now a lot of local government propose to make some virtual world or virtual town to earn their money. So the 3 lamps and 7 alleys are not exceptional. And 3 lamps and 7 alleys, as we all know, that is a very classical historical and cultural district. As its name suggests, is composed of 3 lamps, 7 alleys, and 1 central street, namely 吉僻坊、文儒坊、光禄坊、光像、塔像、皇像, etc. And it can be dated back to the Jin Dynasty with a history of 2,200 years ago, 200 years, and still retain ancient alley pattern today, making it the only remaining living fossil of ancient lamps and alley system in Chinese city. It actually have many humanistic spirit and values because for its nice and central geological location, it gathered many famous celebrities and many famous events happen there. For example, Lin Zexu, Shen Baozhen, Yan Fu, and many other famous stars, which take important effects in modern Chinese history. But it also faces many serious challenges right now. Firstly, most of the buildings have an old structure. Most of them are enclosed structures that does not meet the demands of modern living needs. Secondly, to those buildings that can be renovated still face the tricky problems of how to maintain original architecture style because of serious laws or restrictions. Last but not least, the future development relied on younger generations, but young people are mostly generally less familiar with and disconnected with those old building and old community. So how to strengthen the connection with this old building and younger generation is our main challenges. We can just simply tear down those old buildings, and we have to strengthen the connection with the young generations. So how can we do? In order to protect and develop and revitalize those old districts, in 2009, 3 Lambs and 7 Alleys districts was honored as one of Chinese top 10 historical and cultural streets. And in 2015, it can be titled as one of the 5A tourism attractions. So these two titles can give this district a lot of funds and resources to develop the neighborhood. And naturally, VR, AR, and some other leading technologies becoming one of the priority opinions to the local government, because they don't need to just tear down those old buildings, and they are very interesting. They have vivid pictures and videos, so they can attract enough attention from the young people. So secondly, I will talk about what are VR and AR and their features. VR is a technology that uses computer-generated graphics and sounds to create a simulate virtual environment, allowing users to experience its themes and situations. Unlike traditional screen or audio viewing, VR use head-mounted or glasses-style devices to fully immerse the observer in a virtual reality world. So you have to rely on some wearable devices to experience those virtual worlds. And AR, on the other hand, applied virtual inference to real-life screens through corresponding technologies and devices, allowing for real-life scenes and virtual objects to be overlaid in real time on the same screen, thus enhancing reality. So there are different technologies, but I also think they share some familiar features. First one is immersion, which means you can immerse in a virtual world. Secondly, interactions. So you can manipulate one object even with multiple players. And thirdly, imaginations, which means the degree that designers or planners can design the whole world they were be in. So they are different technologies, but also share familiar features, and in many cases they are used in combination. And in China right now, there are 3 levels of the application of VR and AR technologies. The first one is digitalization and restoration, especially on those small cultural relics. For example, you can restore or correct some information about textures, size, materials, and made them into 3 models and save them into documents. Secondly, immersion, reproduction of historical things, especially about those historical and cultural old things, old buildings. And thirdly, digital museum display. Digitalization of cultural relics refers to the use of technical means to obtain the shape, texture, material, and other attribute characteristics of cultural relics, reform them into digital information for storage, processing, and display. And by utilizing VR and AR technology, lots of historical things can be intuitive, presented in front of users, creating an immersive and participatory experience for observers. I want to take an example. We all know that Yuanmingyuan, the old summer palace, it's a historical site, and it's a very sad memory for most of Chinese people, because the foreign invasion, which happened in the end of the 19th century, the palace has turned into a very wrong and sad place. But some people are discussing about how to restore it. Some people advise to rebuild it because nowadays Chinese have a lot of resources, even money. But we don't think it's a good idea because it has a great significance. We cannot just by rebuilding it. It will actually make a great damage to this significance. So in 2018, through digital means, led by the School of Architecture at Tsinghua University, they took 18 years to fully restore and create the magnificent scenes of the old summer palace. And with the HoloLens and other wearable devices, you can experience the grandeur of this palace, which name is the Palace of the Palaces. The Garden of the Gardens. So I think it's the second kind of applications in China. Certainly, interactive museum display. I'd like to take digital Dunhuang as my example. In 2020, Dunhuang, which is a very famous tourist attractions in northwestern China, they actually built a WeChat official account to show its culture relax. But it's not the end of the story. You also can experience murals in 3 caves and experience its very interesting landscape through these official accounts, and it's full of sense of interactions. Right now, you can appreciate those relax created in the caves. You also can experience through 3D dimensions, and you also have a strong sense of interactions. Nowadays, they have 3 million traffic per day. You can see its appeal. It's very visible. So right now, let's turn to the 3 Lambs and 7 Alleys case. As we all know that this is a very old district. How to revitalize it, how to develop it is main challenges, and we have to find a way to strengthen the connection with the young people. So in recent years, as the main administration, the 3 Lambs and 7 Alleys management community has collaborated with some high-tech enterprises and major university using the characteristics of district and culture industry protection policies to integrate various VR and AR technology, continues exploring the vitalizing of a district. They launched a lot of very famous activities and released some apps to promote its publicity. For example, you can take your cell phone to take a selfie or a picture. The picture will make the street in front of the district like a heart shape, a love symbol. And then I will introduce 3 cases. The first one, an interactive screen. If you visit Fuzhou, you can find some big screen in some public areas or museums. And you can take a selfie by using the pad in front of the screen, and you will find exclusive figure about yourself and appeared in front of appeared on the screen, and you can find the figures were checked with ancient and have a tier with them, and even made transactions with them. They will strengthen the things of their experience about this old district. Secondly, many high-tech enterprises invent some VR games about 3 Lambs and 7 Alleys. In 2022, in Digital China Construction Summit, visitors surprising found that they can wear HoloLens and from them enter the virtual world. If they reach out their hands, they will find a figure raising from their hands. And if you give it a grams for 3 seconds. The figures will fly into the a virtual 3 lens and 7 alleys world, and you can set it some tasks. For example, learning from martial art from the master, or finding the Kunming lantern nearby the Antai River. So those goals made this game very interesting and full of experience. The third case is about corroborations. As I mentioned before, the future of the 7 lamps and 3 lamps, 7 LAs relied on young people. So the community actively corroborate with the major university in Fuzhou, and Minjiang University is where I'm working. I'm honored to cooperate with them and invent some course to introduce 3 lamps and 7 alleys. We ask students to simulate some buildings, and especially we ask students to make some creative acts in these environments. You know, there are a lot of limitations and restrictions about this old building, and how to release their creative acts in such an environment is challenges. Right now, I would like to release a video about my course. I'm sorry, it's just in Chinese, but with the video and image, I still believe you can understand what it delivered.能大声一点吗？Cannot。最大声算，it's okay。后面去。这个刚开始，it's okay。 Okay, for the matter of time, I have to stop the video, but I think everybody can feel that our idea, the initiative initiatives. We not only want to students to how to know how to use some software such as Unity or 3ds Max, but also we want to students to make a strong connection with all districts. There will be the real real wealth for the future development. Okay, the last one, results and discussion. I think the VR and AR digitalization project of 3 lamps and 7 alleys, comprehensive package solution, is not only ensures the rigorous protection of historical and cultural district, but also integrate the entertainment demands of the public as well as educational content. It has organized and preserved a large numbers of historical documents and materials, established a digital information database for a street block, and share the value of cities' historical and cultural heritage. All these have unique significance. But now we also have some challenges. First one is this meditation effects need to be improved. Currently, most of the VR and AR digitalization achievements of the old district relied on special hardware. For example, HoloLens or big screen. Which limits their scope of influence. Secondly, the promotional content lacks depth. Many designs only stay at the surface level of form, shape, lacking depth and substance in their content. And thirdly, the level of digital preservation and inheritance is uneven. Currently, only the main street and some big building are preserved using VR and AR technologies, while many small but special buildings are neglected. So I think it's very sorry for us. And in my opinion, some technologies such as VR and AR or AI technologies have undoubtedly provide a new message and platform for promoting the digital preservation of historical and cultural heritage. But it's not a Salabuha plus. And continued improvement is needed based on practical needs. It's what we care. We need to explore deeply about the concept of internet plus, technology plus, and what is about civilization. We need to think deeply. So that's what I want to talk about. Thank you.
谢谢池涵博士。同样，我们将会有5分钟的提问，欢迎大家提出您的问题吧。
Thank you, Dr. Chihan. Similarly, we'll have a 5-minute session for any questions. Please feel free to share your questions and insights.
Thanks for the presentation. Just would like to ask, right, as we know that digital preservation and restorations require a lot of financial support for a successful implementation. As you mentioned just now, hologram, VR, and AR.
Yes.
Okay, so can you provide details on how the Chinese government collaborates with the private sector to drive this initiative forward?
Okay, thank you for your problems. For your questions, as I mentioned before, the 7 alleys and three 7 lamps and 3 lamps, 7 alleys is titled as one of the top 10 historical and cultural districts in China, and it's also titled as 5A tourism attraction. These two titles can give it a lot of funds, resources. So I think the figures are about 30 million yuan per year. So it will give it a lot of fun to develop some technology which suitable to it. It's the first one. And secondly, in China, we also have some policy to support high-tech enterprises, especially it can cooperate with some local districts. It will it can be funded, so it can give them some initiate to cooperate with the main administrations. Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Anyone has any questions? Yes. Hold on.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rachel. Thank you, Prof, for your very insightful presentation. So as you can see, we also have many alleys over here around us in this Penang, right? We are the UNESCO Heritage Zone. You're in the UNESCO Heritage Zone. So we also have a lot of very famous wall drawings, art and everything. So, but of course, the success is still, we still have a lot more to do to improve the place.
Yeah.
So based on your opinion, what are some of the best practices which we can adopt from China to be used over here? Because we have so many alleys as well, and so many heritage areas. What do you think we can, what do you think the government can actually do to promote or to improve on the success on all these drawings and everything? Thank you very much.
As a foreigners, actually, I think the picture, the murals around this city is very interesting to me, and I think it's a very special experience to me. And I don't think VR, AR, or other leading technology it is panacea for everyone. In the past 3 years, Chinese government have enough funds to develop those technology into their own districts. But right now, for economical crisis, they have insufficient fund to develop it. So I think online or offline technology are the both sides of a coin. We need them too. So if you have technology or you can use those technology as small as possible. But if not, I think picture or some other classical forms are useful as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And then the next question. Hold on. Oh, at the back. Yeah.
I want to ask, cultural heritage is not only architecture, and I want to know how to use the virtual reality to protect the traditional skills, handicraft.
Traditional skill.
Yes.
Right. In my course, we ask students to simulate some buildings from especially about its decorative details. And we also ask students to redesign or reconstruct about these details. I believe this kind of activity can push students to learn more about the traditional technologies. Especially in this modern life, actually we have no enough experts or teachers to teach students how to make some traditional objects. But I think students' personal, intuitive to or association to learn knowledge will be the greatest power for them. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Amba, over there, we have another question.
Hi, Doctor. Thank you for your presentation. I'm
Thank you.
from Anba Wawasan Open University. I'm more interested to listen to the research methodology. You use a case study, right? What are the challenges you face to complete this case study?
I think the biggest challenge for the local government or local people is the area is developed too rapidly, too fast for all the people. Today, we just raised an app which can take some interesting pictures for the public, but maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you can find some way to take picture without any devices. So it's very difficult to catch up the step of of those eras. I think it's a biggest challenge for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And last question? No last question, anybody? Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay.
In Fuzhou City, one of the largest gaming company is located there, NetDragon, correct?
Yes.
Is it possible to get NetDragon's corporate social whatever to help fund your project? Just curious, yeah.
Yes. Yes, NetDragon is the biggest and largest leading enterprises in Fuzhou. And what I mentioned in my presentation, for example, the big interactive screen or the HoloLens game is invented by it. And they also install many scenery of 3 lamps and 7 alleys into their games. It has become an iconic feature of their products. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question from Professor Putra.
I've heard you mention about the software called Unity, and you also show some of the video of the virtual just now, the 3D. So it seems to me that, and then Unity has been here, I think 20 years, more than that. And I see the progress of quality video is not really much change. How the progress of Unity software now? Just basically because I think the user experience is very, very important. How the progress of Unity now compared to 20 years back then?
I think the old district is very have a very big area. In some main street and some big some big building, it has turned into some virtual shape or form, transferred into some games, official accounts in various shapes. But still a lot of small county yard or buildings are neglected. We still have to pay more attention on them because there are a lot of property rights. It's very complex for the local government, and we're still thinking how to innovate it. This is a very big challenge.
Any last question? Okay. So thank you, Dr. Chihan, for the
Thank you.
valuable insights.
Thank you.
谢谢大家踊跃的提问，谢谢池博士的分享。
Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to invite our esteemed keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Putra Sumari and Dr. Chihan, to the stage for a certificate of appreciation. Let's express our gratitude for their invaluable contributions. We kindly request Associate Professor Dr. Andrew Tan to join us on the stage to give the certificates of appreciation.
我们再次邀请尊敬的主演嘉宾伯特拉苏马利教授博士和池涵博士以进行颁发纪念品仪式。我们也邀请陈建南副教授上台为我们主持颁发纪念品仪式。谢谢。
Ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all our keynote speakers for sharing their valuable insight. Now it's time for a well-deserved lunch break. Please proceed downstairs, enjoy your meal, and take this opportunity to network and engage in fruitful conversations.
女士、先生们，非常感谢所有的主讲嘉宾在会上分享他们宝贵的见解。现在，请大家前往底层，就是我们的楼下，尽情享用你们的午餐吧，并借此机会互相认识和互相交流。谢谢。
We'll reconvene back here at 12:30 p.m. See you all shortly.
我们将在中午12点半、12点30分回到这里，待会见。
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Test 1 2 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 2 1 2 2. Check 1 2 2 1. Test 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1. Check 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Test 1. two, two, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 2, 1. Ube, tukar, bawa. Check 1, 2. Tukar, wire. Ni wire. No mic. Take from. Check. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Just 1, 2. Just 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.